Morning, dear students. Today we will discuss the other part of ethics and dentistry chapter. So, yesterday we have seen some parts of ethics, so ethical principles and related to that. So, today we will discuss ethics and social sciences, evolution of medical ethics, basis for medical ethics, and ethical rules for dentists prescribed by Dental Council of India, and some part of ethics in research. So the word, like yesterday we discussed, ethics is derived from Greek word ethos, meaning custom or character. So ethics and social sciences. So customs are commonly dealt by ethics and anthropology. Anthropology studies the origin and development of human customs and moral values, whereas ethics criticizes these issues in terms of right or wrong. Ethics and psychology takes interest in human behavior. Psychology studies how man actually behaves, whereas ethics studies how he ought to behave. Application of ethics can provide solutions to some of the social, economic and political problems. Law is closely related to ethics, yet the difference between civil law and moral law remains. Civil law deals only with external acts and positive legality, and ethics deals with internal acts of will and tribunal of conscience. The discipline of philosophy of law is the result of mingling of ethics and civil law. Civil law deals only with external acts and positive legality, and ethics deals with internal acts and will and tribunal of conscience. Basic ethics lays down broad principles that must govern all human conduct, while applied ethics deals with the application of basic principles to man pattern of conduct. Next, coming to the evolution of medical ethics. So, according to Lord Chief Justice Coleridge in 1893, so it would not be correct to say that every moral obligation involves a legal duty, but every legal duty is founded on a moral obligation. So, evolution of medical ethics can be discussed under Egyptian medicine, Babylon medicine, Greek medicine, Judeo-Christian influence. So, first Egyptian medicine. Under Egyptian medicine, rigid rules were laid down as to experimental treatment. There was no culpability in future to cure so long as the standard textbooks were followed. And severe penalties were, however, threatened for those who ignored instructions. The reason being that very few men would be expected to know better than the best specialists who had gone before. Next, Babylon medicine. The Code of Hammurabi, the famous Code of Hammurabi, was the first known legal code. It contained an element of medical ethics, a system of payment based on results, and to some extent on the ability to pay and on the status of the patients, and penalties for neglect failure, some of which were draconian to an extent, which must have deferred man from entering the profession. Next, Greek medicine. A code of intrapersonal conduct evolved, the dawn of what has become known as medical etiquette. The famous Hippocratic Oath implies the need for coordinated instruction and registration of doctors. The public is to protect it so far as is possible from the dabbler or the charlatan. Charlatan means the fake degree. So he is not a specialist, but he is a specialist in that particular field. It is clearly stated that the doctor is there for the benefit of the patients to the best of ability. He must do them good, nothing which he knows will cause harm. The nature of doctor and patient relationship is outlined, and undertaking is given not to take advantage of the relationship. Oath expresses the doctrine of medical confidentiality. Judeo-Christian influence, that is Jewish medicine, was governed by law, and the law was administered by priests. The rights of individual must be sacrificed for the good of the community, such as isolation of patients with infectious diseases and also disposal of domestic waste to safeguard the community. And Christians' concept of equality, charity, and devotion of too less fortune. Next is the basis for medical ethics. So, medical morals dictate the particular actions and beliefs which regulate the day to day judgments of doctors, while medical ethics analyze the universal principles on which decisions are made. It is the conscience acted by an intuitive sense of goodness which lies at the heart of medical ethics. It follows that the practice of medicine cannot be conducted solely on the basis of individual conscience. The conduct of the doctor is circumscribed by the public conscience, and whether the public conscience fashions the law or whether the law molds the public attitudes. These later attitudes are inevitably reflected in the law. Next, coming to the ethical rules that are prescribed by Dental Council of India. So, dental ethics simply means moral duties and obligations of the dentists to the patient, professional colleagues, and to the society. So, it is broadly divided into three categories: duties of dentists toward patients, duties of dentists towards one another, and duties of dentists toward the public. Coming to the duties of dentist toward the patient. So, dentists should be courteous, sympathetic, friendly, and helpful. Should be established as well as merited reputation for his or her personal abilities and fidelity. And dentist should observe punctuality in fulfilling appointments. He should deem it a point of honor to adhere with much as uniformity as varying circumstances will admit to the compensation for professional service. And a dentist will not permit considerations of religion, nationality, race, party, politics, or social standing to intervene between his duties and his patient. The welfare of the patient is paramount to every other consideration and should be conserved to the utmost of the practitioner's ability. Next, coming to duties of dentists toward one another. Every dentist should cherish a proper pride in his or her colleagues and should not disparage them with word or act. When dentist is entrusted with the care of the patient of another during sickness or absence, mutual arrangements should be made regarding remuneration. A dentist called upon in an emergency to treat the patient of another dentist should, when the emergency is provided for, retire in favor of the regular dentist but shall be entitled to charge the patient for his service. If a dentist is consulted with patient of another dentist and the former finds indisputable evidence that such a patient is suffering from previous faulty treatment, it is his duty to institute correct treatment at once with as little comments as possible and in such manner as to avoid reflection on his predecessor. Next, coming duties of dentist towards public. It is incumbent on dentist under all conditions his bearing towards patient and public should be characterized by dignified deportment. Dentists should take leadership roles in communities on matters related to dental health. Some of the unethical practices. So, practicing by unregistered persons employed by dentist, signing a certificate issued for untrue, misleading, and improper reasons, direct or indirect advertising, use of bogus diplomas like MIDA, FAGE. So, all these things, they are all bogus diplomas. Undercharging for solicit patients, to put on another dentist to the patient, paying or accepting commissions, not referring the patient to the consultant if the planned treatment is beyond the skills of dentist, In the absence of other dentist, temporary service is provided to the patient and the patient is not sent back. So next, coming to the ethics in research. Research to find something which is new. So any study, definitely if it is involving human as subject, should have some research ethical guidelines, that is institution review board if a study is done in college or institution. So researchers bear the responsibility for identifying and propagating truth in matters of science. Much research involves studies with humans and human tissues as well as with animals, and there are strict rules governing research with both. As with patient care, the first detailed research codes were developed in the shadow of World War II. The revolution that followed the disclosure of Nazi experiments brought serious public scrutiny to patients' rights in research studies and resulted in the 1947 Nuremberg Code. So this is important question that you can expect in the examination. The Nuremberg Code is a set of research ethical principles for human experimentation set as a result of the Nuremberg trials at the end of Second World War. It is promulgated in 1947. They were in response to the inhumane Nazi human experimentation on consenting prisoners and detainees during the Second World War. The trials were held in the city of Nuremberg, Germany from 1945 to 1949. So there are 10 principles, 10 rules of Nuremberg Code. The first one, the voluntary informed consent of the subject is absolutely essential. The experiment should be such as to yield fruitful results for the good of the society. The experiment should be designed and based on results of animals and knowledge of natural history of the disease. The experiment should be so as to avoid all unnecessary physical and mental suffering and injury. No experiment is to be conducted when there is a prior reason for death or disabling injury to occur. The degree of risk to be solved by the experiment should not exceed the humanitarian importance. Proper preparations and adequate facilities are to be provided to protect the experimental subjects from getting injury, disability, or death. The experiment is to be conducted only by scientifically qualified persons. In the course of experiment, the human subject has the liberty to halt the experiment if he has reached the heights of physical and mental state where continuation of experiment seems to be impossible to him. And during the course of experiment, the scientist in charge must be prepared to terminate the experiment at any stage if he feels the continuation of the experiment might result in injury, disability, or death to the human subject. One more in research ethics is the Declaration of Helsinki. In addition to drafting the Declaration of Geneva, which was aimed at patient care, the World Medical Association further refined the subject of the rights of human participants in research through the Declaration of Helsinki 1964 and its subsequent amendments. The World Medical Association developed a Declaration of Helsinki as a statement of ethical principles to provide the guidance to physicians and other participants in medical research involving human subjects. So example, ethics violation research, the famous study, the Weipholm study, dental caries in 1954, done by Gustafsson in Weipholm Hospital in Sweden. So the ethical issue here is, so the study is done on mental retarded children where they cannot give informed consent, and coercion, no informed consent, and hazards were not informed. So this is one of the classical example in the history of dental literature where dental ethics is violated in research. And to conclude the top ethics in dentistry, ethics form an important dimension as of a profession. The code of ethics prescribed by the regulatory bodies as well as professional associations act as a guiding light in distinguishing between right and the wrong, observing one's duties and maintains good interpersonal relationships. It should be remembered that profession exists as long as it enjoys the trust of the society, and this can be assured by always placing the interest of the patient above one's own interest. So act ethically and carry on. Thank you.